Part 76. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 753. Woo-woo clicked his tongue and asked patiently, if we go to other tribes, do we have to leave this place? Yes, we definitely have to leave here before we can go to other tribes. Zhen nodded without hesitation. Are there many dangers in the forest? You should know this very well, Woo-woo asked. It is precisely because I know this that I feel that we should not bring those ordinary people with us, otherwise it will be a big trouble. Zhen Huan was particularly eloquent. I just asked you to broaden your thinking. Everything, no matter people or things, has its good and bad sides. Wu took a sip of the ferocious beast's blood and continued to explain, those ordinary people are certainly a burden, but they can also be of great help to us at critical moments. Help us at a critical moment? Let me think. Zhen began to frown and think seriously. He has always thought that ordinary people are a burden, but he doesn't think they can be of much help. Let me give you a hint. The hint is those ferocious beasts. Wu took a big gulp of the beast's blood. Hint are those ferocious beasts? Zhen frowned, thought for a while and suddenly realized. I understand, Wu means to use them as bait, right? Absolutely correct, such a good bait, and it can also run on its own, why should we waste it? Wu-Wu's expression changed from the previous entanglement. His usual image of compassion and reluctance was suddenly gone, replaced by coldness and cold-bloodedness. This scene made the chief next to him feel very uncomfortable and felt all over his body. There is a kind of furry feeling. This feeling is really terrible, as if a person seems to have awakened. What's wrong? Why didn't you speak suddenly? Wu asked, his tone different from usual. It's nothing, I just think this method is very good. The detective came to his senses and explained. He was a little dazed for a moment. He thought he had heard it wrong. Although it was the answer he wanted now. But when he heard this answer coming from Wu's mouth, he felt special. Creepy. I'll leave this matter to you to arrange. All those people, old, young, sick and disabled, must be brought along, Wu ordered. He also figured out in an instant that instead of continuing like this, he might as well do something meaningful. But what made him change his mind the most was his identity, because he wanted to become a more powerful witch. You must go to a good place to develop. Don't worry, all those people will bring them. This is a great opportunity. Zhen smiled happily. After he calmed down, he also felt that this method was excellent. After all, when the ferocious beast attacked, he pushed those people out. Or he didn't need to worry about them, just run away if he could, and those who couldn't. As long as some of the vicious beasts eat it, others will have more time to escape, which is what they consider. So no matter how difficult it is to waste food, these people must bring it with them. Yes, after all, it can guarantee their safety along the way. Of course, the safety here definitely does not depend on their fighting, they can only be fish and meat on the sword. You must keep this matter secret and never let them know. Wu warned seriously. Although he was determined to seek a better future for himself, he could not let other people know about it. Otherwise, even if he went to any tribe in the future, those people would not be willing. The people from the Scorpion tribe will also execute him. Don't worry, I know what to do, those people are so coaxing. Zhan waved his hand and continued, if I say that we are leaving this hellish place to be a better place, they don't know how happy they would be. In the past, they had to be stable, and they could only keep telling lies, but after all, the paper can't cover the fire, and this matter will be discovered sooner or later. Those people have long begun to doubt whether this tribe can continue to develop, but now it is tell them to leave here, and those people will be so happy that they go to heaven. Then we have to consider which tribe to invade. Wu said seriously. They are in the middle of the forest, and there are many other tribes around the forest. In addition to the men of the Dark Scorpion tribe, these other tribes also have many other tribes. It is not difficult for us to find one. We must not find a large tribe, otherwise it will be difficult to capture it with the number of our warriors. Jean analyzed carefully. There are many warriors in the poisonous moth tribe, only about 7 in total. And they are not very strong. The most powerful one is only himself, who is the pinnacle of junior totem warriors. Others, everyone is a junior totem warrior. It can be said that they are warriors who have just awakened as a totem warrior. There are only a few smaller tribes and their locations are relatively remote, but these tribes are our first choice targets, Wu Wu said seriously. Although he also wanted to invade some of the richer tribes, it is difficult for them to do so with their current strength. Anyway, there is no rush, we can start with small tribes first, and then start with medium-sized tribes after they grow slowly. Jean's ambition is not small, and he continued, anyway, the most important thing is to leave this ghost place first, and then we will slowly make plans. I came up with a brilliant plan. It is definitely unrealistic if we attack other tribes now, Wu Wu said. Indeed, I wonder if Wu has any good plans, Detective Chi said. Aren't we going to leave here with the tribe? When the time comes, it will look like being chased by a ferocious beast. Wu took another sip of the ferocious beast's blood and continued, in the end, there were only a few of us left, and then we were taken in by other tribes in embarrassment. We only need to go in and plan the future. After listening, he nodded with satisfaction. This plan is very good. Just trust those who go first and then launch the attack. He clapped his hands and praised the witch is indeed a witch. This plan is really good, so wonderful. Okay, now that we have a set of plans, the next step is to make preparations. Go ahead and make good arrangements. In the past few days, Wu Wu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. But it's really great. I have waited for this day for so long. Zhen left the cabin full of expectations. Tap tap tap. When Wu Wu saw the other person's leaving figure, his expression became sad again, and he began to think about his next life. I don't know if this decision is right or not, but now that I have made the decision, there is no turning back. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 754. Yu Ying went out to see off Yanhua and others, and stood reluctantly at the entrance of the tribe for a long time. She was very reluctant to let the horned girls and cat-eared girls leave. After all, they had to go out on missions after getting along for such a long time. I just finished a mission some time ago, and I have to go on a mission again in a few days. I don't even have much time to get along with him. The fox-eared lady reluctantly stayed at the entrance of the tribe for half an hour before turning back to Yong'an building. Tap tap tap. Subai raised his head and looked at the other person's face, and asked with a slightly raised eyebrow, what's wrong? Are you a little reluctant to see them leaving? After all, it is normal for a totem warrior to go on missions frequently, and he has to go on missions every now and then. On a mission? Yes, this mission is more dangerous than the previous ones, and I am very worried about them, Yu Ying sighed. The fox-eared lady's pink foxtail drooped, and she looked like she couldn't even lift her spirits. Don't worry too much, they have already gone on many missions, just trust them, Subai comforted. He understood the mood of the fox-eared girls. After all, he was also a little worried about the cat-eared girls. Indeed, this mission was more severe than the previous ones. I really hope that they can all come back safely. In addition to the dangers in the tribe, there are also dangers in the forest. Yu Ying frowned. They brought a lot of things out this time. Those things are only available in our tribe, so you don't have to worry too much, Subai said lightly. Although he was very worried, he thought for a moment that the weapons they brought out were relatively good. They brought a lot of explosives, and everyone was equipped with 3 or 4 recurve bows, as well as various weapons. All kinds of witch dominoes. Half of those witch dominoes are Subai's strength. As long as they are used properly, nothing will happen. It's just that this time they seem to be out for a long time, and they don't know when they will come back. Yu Ying glanced at the direction of the door. It would be okay if she only left for 5 or 6 days. This time she will not be able to come back if she leaves for half a month. Not only that, she might not be able to complete this trip even if it takes half a month. If the task is more serious, it will take a month. Don't worry, it won't take long this time with a hot air balloon. I think it will only take half a month at most, Subai said with a smile. When he first arranged this task, he thought about letting them go out in a hot air balloon. Because going out in a hot air balloon can save a lot of time, more than half of the time. That's right. I just watched them off, and I actually forgot about the hot air balloon. Yu Ying patted her forehead. The fox-eared girl's face, which was a little unhappy at first, suddenly became a little happy. Not for any other reason, because she knew that having a hot air balloon would definitely save a lot of time. And this time they were asked to bring some spare hot air balloons so that they could replace them even if something went wrong midway. Subai picked up the teacup. Because he was worried that this time the mission would be more serious and the place would be far away. Everyone was going out in a hot air balloon, so they must bring some spare hot air balloons. Of course, they were not allowed to go out. Take some empty hot air balloons out, but a sewn hot air balloon, that is, the hot air balloon can be repaired if it is punctured. If they follow Wu Ding's plan, there is a high probability that they will not have any problems, right? Yu Ying's pink eyes widened. After all, the fox-eared lady is still very worried about what problems they will have, because this time their target is to have many people. Instead of just returning after defeating a tribe, she was worried that if they were lucky enough to defeat one, who knew whether the next one would be safe. After all, she was not a totem warrior or a tribe manager, so she didn't know much about this aspect. She only knew that this time the mission is very dangerous. After all, it is a mission with fewer enemies and more enemies. Well, you'll be fine if you strictly follow my plan. Subai nodded. He was very relieved about this mission, and the military books he read on the earth were not in vain. He thought carefully about the plan this time, and also told the two teams that went out on the mission. It's very detailed. The two teams set off at different time periods, and each has different goals. This way it won't attract attention, and the most important thing is that it won't be too ostentatious when the tribe leaves. That's fine, but with the witch's dominoes, I feel more at ease. Yu Ying has taken effect. Healing witch dominoes carry the most, followed by fighting witch dominoes, which are two kinds of witch dominoes, knockback and stun. Secondly, there are domestication witch dominoes, so that if you encounter them in the middle map, what kind of rare and exotic beasts can be domesticated back to the tribe using witch dominoes. In addition to these, there are also some venoms, which are high concentration venoms that Coco has researched before. Not only that, but there are also shields, which can also help them resist many dangers. Subai took a sip of tea. Wu, I wonder if they will bring back some wild beasts this time, Yu Ying asked curiously. She saw that there were cat-eared girls, horn-eared girls, and wolf-eared girls. One was an eagle, one was a beast in the water, and the other was a wolf. Probably, I went far away this time, so I will most likely bring some back. Subai smiled. He was actually looking forward to it. He didn't know what strange beasts there would be in the distance. Maybe they will bring back some plants that we have never seen before, so that we will have more food. Yu Ying also started to look forward to it. What Fox-Ear Girl is looking forward to most is to see some different plants, because this will enrich her menu. As for the plants, it's better to give them to you from me. No one knows whether the plants they brought back are poisonous or not. Subai made a joke. He is not used to eating plants of this era. There is always an indescribable taste when eating them. This kind of taste is not particularly unpleasant, but it tastes just like what he has eaten before. It's completely different. He is still used to eating the plants he grew from the system, and they taste exactly the same as those on the other side of the earth. That's right, It's really troublesome to experiment, and they won't eat those strange plants. Yu Ying nodded thoughtfully. This time they brought out a lot of kinds of food, and they also specially brought the compressed military rations from the previous experiment. And even if the food is not enough, it is the same as hunting from the road. Anyway, the people who went out this time were all very strong. Ahasubai put down the teacup. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 755. Hoo hoo. Two hot air balloons are constantly flying in the sky, and the people on the hot air balloons are the horned girls. It has been 2 days since they came out of the Yanlong tribe, and the journey these 2 days has been very smooth. The weather in these 2 days was also exceptionally good. There was no wind or rain, and the sun was not particularly strong. This kind of good weather is the most suitable for hot air balloon travel, and the horn girls also like this kind of good weather very much. This kind of weather is really comfortable, and it won't be particularly sunny. Shaylin held her hands on the edge of the hot air balloon. The cat-eared girl kept her blue eyes closed and felt the air blowing over her. This feeling was really so comfortable. This is indeed the case. As long as it is not windy or rainy, our trip can be shortened for a long time. Yanhua is also in a very good mood. She is eager to rush to the destination immediately to perform the mission, and does not want to spend too long in the hot air balloon. It was naturally fun to ride the hot air balloon at the beginning, but several times all my missions were in hot air balloons, and the novelty suddenly wore off. Although the weather is very nice, we can't be careless, Yeju warned. The wolf-eared lady has been vigilantly scanning the lower reaches and surrounding areas with her telescope, for fear that something different will happen nearby. Threats on the ground should not threaten us, we just need to pay attention to those around the sky. Yanhua also became serious. She kept looking around the hot air balloon carefully, because she had encountered ferocious beasts in the sky several times before on missions. Those ferocious beasts flying in the sky were not fuel-efficient lamps. It's really scary when they are fierce. If the people on the hot air balloon didn't have advanced weapons, it would be difficult for them to resist these ferocious beasts flying in the sky. Yes, we encountered many tough opponents last time. Shalan nodded in agreement. If it hadn't been for her quick hands last time, she quickly picked up the bow in her hand and shot them down, even the hot air balloon would have been punctured. Where are we going this time? Air asked curiously. She didn't know much about the trip plan this time. She only knew how many tribes and which tribes to attack. As for where to go first, she didn't know. Butterfly Girl was very curious about the first stop. Where is it? I don't know what kind of tribe that tribe is. The first tribe we want to attack doesn't seem to be particularly far away from us. If we walk, it may take 10 days. Yeju looked at the drawing in his hand and continued, if we use a hot air balloon to advance, it will only take 3 days. As the captain of this team, Lang Er Niang must clearly understand the tribe on the drawing. She must also understand where the tribe is going at the first stop, and what the situation of that tribe is. These must be investigated. That's good, I thought it would take a long time. I breathed a sigh of relief. Butterfly Girl thought it would take a long time. She was not really looking forward to the fight. She knew how long it would take. It would be nice if it didn't take too long. She would be happier this way. A little. Because it is really boring to stay in a hot air balloon for a long time, it would be more fun on land. But Butterfly Girl also likes hot air balloons very much, because it can save a lot of time. The number of people in this tribe is not particularly large, so we shouldn't spend too much time. Yeju closed the drawing and continued, let's make a quick decision this time. Wolf Ear Girl doesn't want to spend too much time on small tribes, she just wants to finish the battle quickly. Because they still have many tasks at hand, not just 1 or 2 tribes. The tribes assigned to the two teams total there are 4, which means that the dangers they face are fourfold. Even if they successfully survive the first tribe, there will be 3 more tribes waiting for them. They must fight quickly. If a tribe is involved, it takes too long, which is very detrimental to solving the next tribe. What's the name of that tribe? How many people are there in their tribe? Yanhua asked curiously. That tribe seems to be called the Muchan tribe, and it is also a tribe that has just emerged in the past 2 years, Yeju said. She didn't know much about this tribe because it only started in the past 2 years. She didn't find out any more useful information, that is, there weren't many people who knew about this tribe. This tribe had just emerged. Just. It turns out that this is the case. Since it is a newly emerging tribe, there is no need to be afraid. Their warriors are definitely not strong. Yanhua breathed a sigh of relief. She originally thought that the first tribe would be very difficult to deal with, but she didn't expect it to be surprisingly smooth. Even so, you can't be careless, you must be careful and careful, Yeju warned. Lang Niang was afraid that these people would be too careless and relax themselves, which would easily lead to danger. We know that as long as we strictly follow the plan, nothing will happen. Yanhua immediately put away her excitement. Niojiao Niang was so happy and excited that she felt a little carried away. She immediately remembered the witch's teachings. If it's a small tribe, it should take us 2 days to solve it, right? Shalan speculated. The cat-eared girl thought that it would take a day to conduct the survey and a night to bury the explosive package. After everything was ready, it could be detonated. Once the explosive package was detonated, these small tribes, it will definitely be destroyed very simply, so that the threat can be eliminated. It can be completed in about 2 days, as long as the survey is in place. Yeju nodded. Great, this way we don't have to spend a lot of time. Yanhua is eager to deal with these tribes immediately. Then all the hidden dangers of the Yanlong tribe can be dealt with, so that the Yanlong tribe can develop unscrupulously. The development prospects of the Yanlong tribe are very good, and now it is at the beginning stage and cannot be destroyed easily. Yes, for the sake of witches, we must deal with these tribes. Shalan nodded seriously. The cat-eared girl was also very serious. Her idea was exactly the same as that of the horned girl. No other tribe has such a good tribe, and she will not let this tribe disappear. Anyway, please be careful, we must go back safely this time, Yeju said seriously. Lang Niang's responsibility is relatively important. She must bring everyone here back to the Yanlong tribe safely. Yes, everyone said in unison. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 756. This thing is of no use to me. Sudbai looked at the cosmetics prescribed by the system. Recently, the things prescribed by the system are really messy, and many of them are things that he can't use at all. Even if they are given to others, they won't be able to use them, like this. The cosmetics are ready. There is no need for this among the tribesmen. Everyone looks pure and natural. No one puts anything on their face, they are all barefaced. Just out of the blue, a cosmetic product is opened. It's of no use and can only be piled in the warehouse. Forget it, wait until the tribe develops better in the future before taking out these cosmetics. Sudbai shook his head. He always felt like he was a non-chief recently, and none of the things he opened were useful. At least a lot of good things were released in a short period of time before, either innate skills or some crop seeds. Or some instruction manuals, carpets, condiments, etc. Anyway, everything that was prescribed before was very useful. For example, now it is either cosmetics, a transparent glass, or a skull bag. These things are very useful to him. It is said that it is not helpful at all. At best, the skull bag is only used by the soldiers to carry things when they go out. However, the soldiers each have their own backpacks that they like to use. It will definitely be uncomfortable to carry a backpack this time. Wu, are you up? Yu Ying asked at the door. Subai got up, changed his clothes and walked out of the room. He simply finished breakfast. He stretched his body and asked, how are the crops of the tribe growing? Ever since he was able to apply his natural skills to the witchbone tablets, he has almost never been to the farmland. He spends most of his time in Yong'an building every day, and will go out for a walk when he is free. But even if he goes out, I was just wandering around the tribe, and the number of plant growth spells every day was made into witch dominoes. After all, the farmland area is so large, and there are not so many crops to use. And most of the crops have been used before. Plant growth technique, now just give them time to grow slowly. Woo, those crops are growing very well, and there have been a lot of harvests every day recently, Yu Ying said immediately. Fox Niang has been very busy recently. In addition to cooking 3 meals a day in Yong'an building every day, she also takes time to visit the farmland every day, because the crops there grow very fast. Quick. Like the cabbage, lettuce, or peppers, sweet potatoes, and potatoes that were planted before. The growth is good. You can harvest a lot every day. After the harvest, everything is stored in the cellar. That's good, as long as we store more, we won't have to worry when the rainy season comes. Subai nodded with satisfaction. After the harvest is completed every day, new crops will be planted on the vacant land immediately, Yu Ying said seriously. Fox-eared lady is already very good at arranging these things, and she is busy with these steps every day. When she dealt with these things at the beginning, she was obviously more than capable. But it was slow. She has become very skilled at it. Whether it is arranging for people to harvest crops, arranging for people to plow the land, or asking people to plant new crop seeds, she arranges it very well. The fox-eared lady is also a bit. She fell in love with this kind of work. She always felt that this kind of work was very lifelike and something she could help with as a Miko. Are there many people in the tribe learning to grow crops? Subai asked. Yes, he plans to expand the area of farmland again. The current land area is definitely not enough. In the future, there will only be more and more people in the tribe. If the current few acres of land are not enough, it is difficult to feed so many people. What's more, it is better to continue hunting for a living. If we want to completely eliminate the need for hunting, we must expand the area of farmland to a very large area. Recently, there are still many people who are willing to learn, and their enthusiasm is very high. Yu Ying shook her pink fox tail. Fox-eared lady was learning how to grow crops, so she was teaching the tribesmen how to grow crops. However, the current land area is not large, so the arrangement there are not many people. So how are they studying? Is it okay to let them manage the land alone? Subai asked. He had asked the tribe's people to survey other places a few days ago. The places where crops were planted around the tribe had already been planted. Now most of the tribe's surroundings are covered with trees, or that road Dehi, there is really very little land. Not to mention that he had previously planned to expand the tribe's area again, so the city wall was built further away from the original wooden wall in order to prepare for future expansion. Since the tribes as the land area increases, the farmland that can be used to grow crops naturally decreases. However, agriculture is also very important to the development of a tribe, so Subai asked people to survey the surrounding land environment. Woo, I can't find any faults at the moment, I've learned almost everything, Yu Ying said seriously. Those people come to the farmland to study seriously every day. Even if there is no work left in the farmland, those people always stay in the farmland. I plan to open up a farmland half a day away from your tribe, which will be our farmland base from now on. Bai took a sip of tea and continued. Most of the future crops will be planted there, so you can regard it as the granary of our tribe. After hearing this, Yu Ying was very confused. She tilted her head and asked, what is a granary? Is half a day too far? Fox-eared lady doesn't know what a granary is, she only knows that it's a little far away from the tribe. The land around our tribe is not enough now. Even if our crops grow very fast, there will only be more and more people in our tribe in the future. So, Bai put down the teacup and continued, what's more, I don't want the tribesmen to go out hunting all the time. I want everyone to be safer. He wanted to make better arrangements for the soldiers to stay. The development of the tribe does not need to go out hunting every day. Wu, which place did you choose? Yu Ying asked curiously. Fox-ear girl seemed to have never heard of this before. It was still a bit strange when she heard it for the first time. Shall we go out in a hot air balloon? Subai asked with a smile. He also felt that he hadn't been out for a while, so he just took this opportunity to go out and get some fresh air. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 757. Okay, let's take a hot air balloon ride. Yu Ying was so happy that she nodded repeatedly. Fox-ear girl likes to ride in a hot air balloon very much, and she hasn't ridden in a hot air balloon for a long time. Get ready, let's go have a look in the forest, Subai ordered. After more than an hour, everything was ready. They left Yong'an building and started to ride on the hot air balloon. Hoo-hoo! The hot air balloon kept flying towards the forest, because Yeju took a small team out on a mission. So this time the escort mission fell to Ziguo, and he was accompanied by many totem warriors. Wu, but if we are in the forest, how should we manage these farmlands? Yu Ying asked curiously. Fox-ear girl is thinking that if she wants to see the farmland now, she will have to take a hot air balloon out. Then management will be more troublesome. The road will be built by then, and it won't take too long to get from our tribe to the farmlands, Subai explained. He doesn't just want development within the tribe, he also wants good development outside the tribe. If he wants to develop well outside the tribe, then building roads is a necessary process. If there is no smooth flow, it is very troublesome for people in the tribe to travel on unobstructed roads. Not to mention developing well outside the tribe, the same is true on the earth. If you want to get rich or live a better life in the mountainous areas, the first thing to do is to solve the transportation problem. If the transportation is not developed, the mountainous area will never be able to develop well. It's just that the Yanlong tribe is now in the stage of development, and Subai has not thought of it yet. How to deal with things outside? Is Wu talking about building a concrete avenue in the forest? Yu Ying's pink eyes widened instantly. She had never heard of Wu Yu's idea before, and now she was particularly shocked after hearing it. Yes, but this is a matter for later, so let's not consider it for now, Subai said with a smile. The most important thing now is to build the cement houses in the tribe. After the construction is completed, we will consider external matters. Because if you want the tribe to develop better and better, then the diplomatic relations with other tribes must also be considered. It must be done well. However, if transportation is not convenient, it is a bit difficult for other tribes to come. Even if many tribes want to come to the Yinlong tribe, they will be discouraged from doing so because of the long and difficult road. Just thinking about it makes me feel awesome. If an avenue can really be built in the forest, the scene will definitely be very spectacular. Yu Ying began to make up her mind. She believed that Wu would do what he said. It was just a matter of time, and she began to look forward to it in her heart. What do you think if we pave roads to all tribes in the future? Subai suddenly asked. He didn't think about this crazy idea for a day or two, but he started thinking about it when cement was invented in the tribe. In this primitive era, you can't rely on walking on mountain roads, right? If there is a flat road, the avenue must be very convenient. It is the same for the development of their tribe and the development of other tribes. Of course, he does not have such a clear understanding of justice now. He must only consider the development of the Yanlong tribe for the time being. Not so enthusiastic about considering other tribes. The scene must have been very spectacular at that time. It would also save a lot of time for other tribes to come to our tribe, and Maga must have been very popular at that time. Yu Ying paused and continued, not only that, I believe everyone in the tribe will be very grateful to you. Fox-eared lady also thinks that this idea is too crazy, but it is not impossible to implement it, it is just a matter of time. Because it is not difficult to make cement from plant ash, and the materials are available everywhere, as long as you really want to, it only takes a while to pave the road. Is that so? Then we'll see. Subai raised his head and looked at the forest in the distance. His current ambition is not just to manage the Yanlong tribe, but it would be even better if he could rule a large continent. But this is a long plan, and now there are thousands of tribes on the continent. Each tribe has its own unique character and way of survival. It is not easy to achieve unity. But Subai has his own way, which is to conquer everyone with what he invented. I believe that no one in this era can resist the temptation of the things he invented. I'm afraid they all want to be the first to own them. Now that I have what everyone wants to have, there is a stepping stone for the development of the plan to unify the continent. Got it? Wu, what does it mean to wait and see? Yu Ying asked curiously. It was the first time she heard this new word. It was composed of 4 words. Just wait and see, you will know when the time comes. Subai smiled heartily. Yu Ying nodded thoughtfully, fiddled with her hair and said, yes, Wu. Hoo. The hot air balloon keeps moving forward, and the scenery under the forest keeps moving back. Looking at the large green areas makes me feel good. About 10 minutes after leaving the tribe, you can vaguely see a large open space exposed. Wu, is this the only area you mentioned as farmland? Yu Ying pointed to the open space. For some reason, the open space there looked particularly large. Generally, there is rarely such a wide land in the forest. Generally, the forest is full of dense trees or bushes. It is necessary to it's hard to find a wide open space. That's it, Siguo, let's land down and have a look, Subai ordered. He had asked people to see this before. Of course, it was Shifeng who came back to report after reading it. Only then did he know about this open space. Yes, 11 Guo controlled the hot air balloon to slowly fall. Hoo. The hot air balloon slowly landed on the ground, and Subai got off the hot air balloon under the protection of the totem warriors. At first, the totem warriors circled around to ensure that there were no creatures that could threaten the witch's safety. After the totem warriors got off the hot air balloon, they formed a warning circle around the open space. Just in case, lest some murderer hides in a corner without being discovered. Wu, this open space is wider than it looks from the sky. Yu Ying ran around in the open space in surprise. The fox-eared lady has not been so happy for a long time. She was always trembling before. Indeed, the view is really wide. Subai nodded with satisfaction. Second update, please support and customize. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 758. This open space was much larger than he had imagined. When he heard the soldiers describing it, he only had a rough idea in his mind. After all, this era doesn't know how to describe an unknown vastness. It can only describe how big it is compared to a tribe. The approximate area of this open space is as big as a dozen basketball courts on the other side of the earth. It is considered a very large open space. It is rare to have such a wide open space in the forest, and there are only a few scattered trees as far as the eye can see. These trees have no impact on the land that is to be used as farmland, but can actually add color. Wu, it must take a lot of time to cultivate this place, right? Yu Ying is a little tired from running. But Fox-ear Girl also wants to turn this place into a farmland, so that she can see a field of green crops. She enjoys being busy among the crops, especially when she sees when those crops are ready to be harvested. If you only rely on labor, it will definitely take a while, but have you forgotten the most diligent cow in our tribe? Subai asked with a smile. Those cattle have not plowed the fields for a while, because the tribe's farmland is only so small, and it does not need to be plowed all the time. The need for cattle plowing was only at the beginning. At that time the land has become very hard because of the trampling of many people back and forth. Only then do cattle need to be used to loosen the land. After the first loosening of the land, it is almost no longer needed. Are we going to transport those cows over in a hot air balloon? This seems to take several trips. Yu Ying turned her eyes and glanced at the hot air balloon. Those hot air balloons were not very big, and each hot air balloon could only carry 4 or 5 people. The larger hot air balloons were all used by Yanhua and the others, and the remaining 2 were kept in the sea fish tribe. The remaining hot air balloons of the Yanlong tribe are only small ones, and at the same time they have not made new ones. It may not be practical to transport cattle in a hot air balloon, and they will have to be walked in through the forest. Subai said. The hot air balloon left behind is not big. A hot air balloon can only carry 1 cow, but if the cow is on it, there is no way for people to get on it. No one can help look after the cows, let alone let the cows go alone on top of the hot air balloon. This works, but it will take half a day. After plowing the land, you can only let them sleep near the forest. Yu Ying blinked her pink eyes and continued, it's just that it will cost a lot of soldiers to look after these cows, otherwise they will be eaten by ferocious beasts and beasts in the forest. Let people open a wider road first, and then let those people arrive from morning to noon, and come back before dusk, Subai ordered. He must not be willing to do unnecessary things. Not to mention the number of cattle now, this clearing can be cleared in a few hours. There is no need to spend a night in the forest, this is really what a waste of manpower. Yes, I remember. Yu Ying nodded. In addition to preparing 3 meals a day for Yong'an house, Hui Niang also has to take time to teach the furry children how to read. Next, she has to manage farmland matters. When I get back later, I will give you a plan for a piece of farmland. Then you can just ask everyone to translate it into land according to the plan, Subai added. He wanted to come and see for himself, just to see what kind of layout the open space here is. In this way, he could know how to plan the open space, and he couldn't let them do it casually. A convenient thing to plant. Wu, what do you want to plant in this vacant land? Yu Ying asked curiously. The open space here is really too big and can grow a lot of things. Anyway, it is several times larger than the one outside the tribe now. I plan to plan the open space here to be a wheat field. Wheat will become our staple food in the future, Subai explained. He wanted to slowly start to let the tribesmen start eating wheat, because eating meat every day is definitely unrealistic. Not to mention that meat is difficult to obtain, and even if it can be obtained, it will not be stored for a long time. Only wheat is the most important food. So now the most important thing to grow is wheat. There are a lot of people in the tribe, and this open space can just meet everyone's needs. Growing wheat? I think it's a good plan. Yu Ying nodded in agreement. At first she would have thought that she would have to plant a lot of vegetables, which would be difficult to manage. But it would be different if she was growing wheat. It wouldn't be particularly difficult to manage, and it wouldn't be necessary. Very many people. Have you developed their skills in growing wheat? Subai asked as he walked. Although wheat cultivation is simpler than other crops, it also requires a lot of energy. They have all been taught. It just so happens that the open space is so wide that they can be so busy together. Yu Ying nodded. Let's start tomorrow, don't put it off any longer, while there is still some time before the rainy season arrives, and see if we can get 2 or 3 waves of wheat, Subai ordered. He looked down at the fallen leaves and some insects, which can be used as nutrients. This land will be very fertile. There is no need to fertilize this land in advance, which also saves a lot of money. Less time. Understood, I will start arranging this matter when I get back. Woo, but where will those people live? Yu Ying asked curiously. The fox-eared lady thought that if people are to be arranged to come here to manage the farmland in the future, they must be given a place to live nearby. Otherwise, there may be some ferocious beasts passing by this open space at night. In this way the crops that we have worked so hard to grow will be destroyed. So we have to arrange for people to watch here. Since we are watching, we must have a place to live, right? Build a row of wooden walls around this open space, and hang pungent plants. This will drive away those beasts, and they will not approach easily when they see the wooden walls should be arranged. I understand, so they can finish their work and go back to the tribe, Yu Ying said softly. In addition, 1 or 2 totem warriors and reserve warriors should also be arranged to follow to prevent danger on the way back and forth, Subai added. Understand, I will discuss this with the chief. The clear sound of Yu Ying sounded. Okay, let's take another look and then go back and get ready to draw, Subai said softly. Yu Ying flicked her pink foxtail and said in a soft and cute voice, okay, woo. A few people watched in the open space for a long time, arranged some things, and left in the hot air balloon. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 759. Hoo hoo. Subai and others returned to the tribe in a hot air balloon. All the people in the tribe raised their heads in surprise. They rarely see hot air balloons. In the past, hot air balloon trips were always outside the tribe. At first, it was to prevent the tribesmen from knowing about the existence of hot air balloons too early, so they avoided them in every way. At that time, Subai had just taken over the tribe, so it was better to be cautious. I have been slowly taking charge of the tribe for some time now, and it won't be a big deal even if I am discovered by the tribe members. There were cement houses, cement avenues, and horse-drawn carriages before, so now even if they know about hot air balloons, they think it's nothing. Woo, all the people in the tribe are looking up at us. Yu Ying's pink eyes kept looking at the ground. The fox-eared lady could vaguely hear the cheers below, and all those people were talking about it. Look, what is that thing flying in the sky? I don't know either. It seems to be made of animal skins and can actually fly in the sky. How can you fly in the sky if you don't even see wings? How did you do that? Look, are Wu and Yu Ying up there? Or am I being blinded? You read that right, the witch is up there. It's really amazing. Can it fly if it is sewn from animal skin like this? Discussions like this continued, and the people in the tribe were all shocked. None of them had ever seen a hot air balloon, so no wonder this happened, Subai said lightly. His hearing is getting better and better, and he can hear all the voices of those people discussing below. Yu Ying listened less, and could only vaguely hear some loud sounds. The sound is just a sound. There is no such thing as Subai can hear it so clearly now. This should be the aura of the time traveler. Wu, will they tell the truth about our tribe? Yu Ying said worriedly. Fox Ear Girl is more worried that these people will betray the tribe. If people from other tribes know that the Yanlong tribe is developing so well now, it is inevitable that people from other tribes will have some thoughts in their hearts. When the time comes, the Yanlong tribe will it is even more difficult to deal with it. In order to prevent this situation from happening, Subai sent people out to wipe out other tribes. He just didn't want to be interfered by people from other tribes when the Yanlong tribe was developing vigorously. Also, it's not that I can't defeat them, it's just that it's too tiring to deal with the waves. With the current strength of the Yanlong tribe and the weapons it possesses, there is no need to be afraid of fighting another tribe. Don't worry, they are very loyal to our tribe now, and it is impossible for them to tell anything about our tribe, Subai said lightly. He would be a little worried at first, but now he is not worried about it. Although the people of the tribe don't know how to develop the tribe, they still know this very well. Because if the tribe is good, if something is revealed, other tribes will definitely be jealous, and once they are jealous, a war will break out. If a war breaks out, it will be good if the Yanlong tribe wins, but if it fails, it will return to the way it was before. People who believe in the tribe, none of them are fools, and they would not want the tribe to be like that before the change. They definitely still want the tribe to continue to develop well. Only in this way can they eat good food and live in good houses. The most important thing is to eat every day. There is no need to worry, as long as you work hard, you will definitely get food. Woo, I don't know when the tribe's concrete houses will be built. Ying looked at the houses being built underneath. These houses started to be built after the heavy ice and snow passed, and it has been built for more than 2 months. Since the tribe does not have a particularly large number of manpower, they can only divide it among themselves. Build for several batches. That is, some people are responsible for digging the foundation first, some people start to make grass ash cement, and some start to shape the stones into the ideal shape. If we continue at the current pace, we should be able to build it before the rainy season. Subai put his hands on the edge of the hot air balloon. His black eyes kept scanning the environment below. The stone houses under construction had long been covered with animal skins. This was to prevent other tribes from entering the Yanlong tribe. Time so that they could not see the stone house being built. Woo, there are 20 stone houses under construction now, and there are still more than 60 days before the rainy season arrives. Ying kept lowering her head and counting on her fingers, and continued, can it really be built in such a short time? Fox Ear Girl saw that there are still many people in the tribe who cannot live in cement houses. Now the tribe there are still wooden houses around. It should be possible. If we continue to follow the current construction speed, maybe it can be built in advance, Subai said gently. Because it has only been 60 days since the heavy snow and ice ended, so many stone houses have been built in 60 days. Although most of them are semi-finished products, they will be completed in another 60 days. It's not impossible. I'll ask someone to urge you later, just in case. Ying shook her pink foxtail. Okay, but you still have to tell them to build it conscientiously, Subai warned. Woo, after these stone houses are built, what will happen to the wooden houses around the tribe? Ying asked curiously. There are still many wooden houses around the tribe, but these wooden houses have not been demolished. Most of those stone houses are concentrated in the middle area. The reason why the surrounding wooden houses do not want to be demolished is for prevention. Just in case. Ying was thinking that if the stone houses were built and people from the tribe could live in them, could these wooden houses be demolished? Just keep it for now, maybe it will come in handy later. Subai shook his head. Woo, can we let them live there if people from the tribe come again in the future? Ying thought that if the tribe expanded in the future. Because the Yanlong tribe had taken in many people from other tribes before, she knew about witchcraft. Well, it is certainly impossible for people from outside tribes to let them all live in wooden houses at once, Subai said with a smile. It's already very good to be able to take in people from outside tribes. It's definitely impossible for them to live in stone houses as soon as they come in. I see. Ying's soft and cute voice sounded. In addition, it can also be used as a pen, and you can also raise some animals in the future, Subai said softly. Such as wild rabbits. Ying also smiled happily. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 760. Wow. A slight drizzle began to fall from the sky, and the Yanlong tribe was suddenly hidden in the rain and mist. Although the raindrops are not very heavy, the dense raindrops can form a curtain that makes it difficult to see clearly. Woo, it's starting to rain outside again. Ying laid her hands on the glass and looked outside. During this period, it rained more frequently in the Yanlong tribe, and it rained a lot in the past 2 days. However, it didn't rain a lot, and it didn't last long. These light rains are good and can help crops grow. Subai also turned his head and looked out the window. Wu, will something happen to those stone houses? Yu Ying is more worried about the cement house being built. Don't worry, if the cement is irrigated by rainwater, it will be stronger, as long as it is not just added, Subai explained. It's the same on the other side of the earth. After the cement of the house over there is dry, someone will water the house with a water pipe. This is to make the cement stronger. It turns out that this is the case. I have learned some knowledge again. Yu Ying nodded repeatedly. Subai smiled slightly, lowered his head and continued busy with his own affairs. What he was thinking about recently was the development of the tribe. Things related to clothes and granaries have been arranged, and the next step is the tribe's travel issues. After visiting the empty land 2 days ago, he began to have the idea of paving a road. That is to say, paving it from the tribe to the farmland, so that the tribesmen can go back and forth between the farmland and the tribe. Less time. Wu, is this a tribe or forest you drew? Yu Ying tilted her head and looked at the drawings on the table. She didn't know what Wu was drawing at first, she just felt that the pencil was going back and forth and she didn't know what she was drawing. Yes, this wide road leads to the farmland, Subai explained. The painting he drew was not particularly detailed. It was probably just an abstract painting, except that there was a broad avenue between the tribe and the forest. Wu, is it possible that what you said 2 days ago will be implemented now? Yu Ying's pink eyes widened. Fox-eared lady heard Wu Yu mention this matter 2 days ago, which means that sooner or later a road will be built from the tribe to the outside. Well, anyway, there are free manpower in the tribe now. Rather than letting them idle with nothing to do, it is better to arrange for them to do other things. Subai nodded. The tribe has already built half of its stone houses. Because the space is limited, there is no way for everyone to gather in one building to work. The tribe's only job now is to build houses, such as workshops. You need to have some talent before you can work. Some tribesmen have no other talents except brute strength. It is impossible for them to stop working, right? Moreover, the rules of the Yanlong tribe are that only by working can they have food, shelter, and shelter. Since they don't have jobs, it's certainly impossible to give them food for no reason. I just thought of paving the road 2 days ago, and it just so happens that it's not the rainy season yet. However, this may take a lot of time, and it may be difficult to lay it directly into the forest from here. Yu Ying turned her head and looked at the forest again. The forest was too big, and there were all kinds of dangers hidden everywhere. It was really not an easy job. Although it is difficult to do, we must try it, and this is also for the development of the tribe. Subai raised his head and said. Of course he has also thought about this issue, but this is not an obstacle to him if he has a farming plan. These obstacles will only make him more frustrated and courageous, but also add some challenges. There is also a greater desire to conquer. Wu, if this is the case, should we arrange for the soldiers to go with those people? Yu Ying kept blinking her pink eyes. Arrange some people, otherwise they won't know what to do if a vicious beast appears in the forest. Subai nodded. Yu Ying flicked her pink foxtail, held her cheeks in her hands and said seriously, Wu, please arrange anything for me. I can have someone prepare it now. The fox-eared girl is thinking that since the cat-eared girl is not here anyway, she must arrange these things as a Miko. Even though she is not very good at it, she still has to try to do it, because Shaylin is not only in addition to the witch, she is also a totem warrior. She often goes out on missions. Once Shaylin goes out on a mission, it will definitely be her turn to do these things. You first call together all the men who are currently unemployed and tell them that there is a more difficult job for them to do. Bai took a sip of tea and continued. This job is somewhat dangerous, but the rewards are also very high. Ask them if they are willing. He still wants to work on a voluntary basis, but does not want to use his rights to force those people to work. You must know that wherever there is coercion, there will be resistance. He does not want to become a tyrant himself, let alone the people of his tribe in the future. Because I was oppressed, I wanted to rebel, etc. Yes, do you need to explain to them clearly what kind of job it is? Yu Ying asked innocently. Tell them, just say that it is the same as the road construction work of the tribe, except that this road is built outside, Subai said lightly. Anyway, there is nothing to hide in this matter. They must know what their jobs are. This is called truly letting them choose. Understand, after I finish making lunch for you, I will announce this. Yu Ying nodded. The more people, the better, because this road needs to be repaired as soon as possible, and we only have more than 60 days, Subai ordered. He didn't know if this avenue could be repaired in more than 60 days, but he still wanted to try his best. It would be best if the avenue could be repaired before the rainy season. If not, it would be the best. No impact. Wu, if they ask what is the reward for high returns, Yu Ying asked very seriously. Fox-eared lady still wanted to find out something. Don't wait until those people asked, and she couldn't explain it herself. As long as those who participate in the construction of this avenue will receive twice as much meat as before, if this avenue is successfully built. Subai frowned and thought, then continued, each person is given a piece of linen. They will definitely be moved by such good conditions. Yu Ying was shocked by this high return. This is indeed a very good return. You must know that the daily reward before was just 3 meals a day. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 761. Hoo hoo. The hot air balloon is flying slowly in the sky. This is the third day since Yanhua and the others came out. We can reach Mu-Chan tribe today, but the sky is getting dark now. It was already dark, but it was just enough to help us. Yanhua looked up at the moonlight in the sky. It was only about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sky was already a little blurry. The weather in the primitive era was like this, and the daytime was relatively short no matter what time it was. But this is still well, normally this time is around the time when the sun sets. During periods of heavy ice and snow, the sun goes down earlier, and it gets completely dark around 4 o'clock. What he said is that he can go to the Mu-Chan tribe tonight to have a look. If there are no problems, he can launch an attack tonight. Ai blinked her purple eyes. She thought that she could finally go out and do some exercise. She was really tired from staying on this balloon. Although she has butterfly wings and can fly out often, in order to save energy and so on, or stayed in the hot air balloon obediently. Well, you must see clearly tonight, and you must not miss anything, Yeju ordered. She was very strict about attacking the first tribe in the plan and didn't want to make any mistakes this time. Only after this time is successful, the following tribes will be more confident when attacking. Don't worry, big boss, I will definitely take care of everything this time, Ai said confidently. Let's first see if there are many people inside, and then we'll consider what plan to implement, Yeju said. They have several plans for this trip, and each plan is different. The first plan is to blow up the entire tribe so that the entire tribe has no life characteristics. The second plan it is to take all the children and women out of the tribe and then bring them back to the Yanlong tribe. However, this plan is more troublesome. Unless there are particularly many people, it is meaningless. Transporting these people back to the Yanlong tribe all the way it requires time and manpower, unless the people brought back can create value for the tribe. Otherwise, all these people will be destroyed along with the tribe, which will save time and effort. The third plan is to kill all the warriors in the tribe. Then, all the people in the tribe will be gathered together. Later, the people of this tribe will be unified to move to the next tribe. However, these two plans are not realistic. It is too troublesome to actually implement them, because they have to start from. It takes a long time for one tribe to get to another tribe. It takes less than 10 days to get down on foot. After all, it takes 3 or 4 days for a hot air balloon. But do we really have to follow the next two plans? This will waste a lot of time, Yanhua asked very seriously. Because there are still more than 60 days until the rainy season, and she doesn't want to run around with these tribesmen in more than 60 days. If she can visit the tribe in a short time, of course it's good, but if you can't take it back, it's really a waste of time. Time is secondary. It would be good if you can go back to the tribe, but what if you can't go back? Will they be forced to stay outside? In the forest. The rainy season is particularly dangerous, not to mention that they don't have enough food. If they don't rush back to the tribe in time, they will die. In fact, I have also considered this, otherwise forget it and stick to the first plan. Yeju thought about it seriously. The most important thing is to save time. It would be a waste of time to bring these people. How to bring them back to the tribe is still a key point. It would be okay if they came out by boat, just let them. Those tribesmen could just get on the boat. But they were riding in a hot air balloon, and it was only a hot air balloon. It couldn't carry so many people. Let me go take a look at everything tonight. We should not be merciful to those who threaten the Yanlong tribe, Ai said very strictly. Butterfly Girl especially hated those who wanted to bully the Yanlong tribe. The tribe had been bullied before, and she didn't want to go back to that feeling. Good, Yeju nodded. Hoo. Hot air balloons keep moving forward in the dark night. There are so many hot air balloons in Wuyuan tonight, and the hot air balloons are cleverly hidden in the darkness. Yeju and others chose a secret place to land. After taking a short rest, they asked Butterfly Girl to go out for detection. Ai had been waiting for this day, so she ate something casually and flew away with her purple butterfly wings. Puchi. More than an hour later, Ai flew back, flapping her purple butterfly wings, looking particularly excited. She calmed down her breathing and said, "There are really too few people in this tribe, so I'm afraid we don't need to spend too much effort." Butterfly Girl thought that the first tribe would be very difficult to deal with, but after actually flying in to detect, only then did I realize that I was worrying for nothing. Although there appear to be a lot of wooden houses, not many people actually live in them. This seems to be a kind of deception. The purpose is to make people from other tribes think that this tribe has a particularly large number of people, so they will be a little afraid to attack. Without actually flying into the tribe to check it out, I wouldn't have known that there were so few people in the Muchan tribe. That would be great. Tell me where exactly they are and where the warriors are, Yeju asked. That's where they are, Ai stated the location very clearly. The reason why she went there for so long was because she had been investigating for a long time and she had to make sure that the results of the investigation were accurate. Okay, very good, the location you gave this time is particularly accurate, and the next plan will be executed well, Yeju nodded with satisfaction. At first, he was worried that something would happen to the other party. After all, he had been away for too long, but he didn't expect to bring back such accurate news. Let's get started. Since there aren't too many people, let's just use explosive bags, Yanhua suggested. I think so too, there is no need to sneak in anymore, just blow up this small tribe, Yeju nodded. According to what Ai just said, such a small tribe only needs 8 explosive packets. Shat. Lan paused and continued, the most important thing is to deal with the wooden houses of the soldiers, so that ordinary people can leave them alone. She planned that ordinary people would not need to put explosives in their wooden houses. As for their future lives, it would be up to them. Get started, Yeju blinked her cold gray eyes. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 762. At dawn the next day, the sun slowly rose into the sky, illuminating the earth with its golden light. The surface of the originally lush forest was also covered with a layer of golden yellow, which looked very beautiful. Yeju and others were actually in front of the Muchan tribe, and each of them shed a lot of sweat. They made a plan last night and immediately went out to attack. The whole process was very smooth. The time from finding out where the soldiers lived to planting the explosives was well controlled, and there was no hesitation when lighting the explosives. At night, there were bursts of explosions, and the fire was particularly dazzling, turning half the sky red in an instant. The sounds of those explosions caused the ferocious beasts in the tribe to run around, and in an instant the dark sky became almost like daytime. It really didn't take much time. Yanhu looked at the wooden houses that were still burning in front of them. These wooden houses have been burning since midnight last night. The dazzling firelight also makes people feel very hot. After all, it is summer, and the virgin forest is extremely hot, not to mention everyone. They all stood in front of the fire. It's just a pity for the innocent people in the tribe. Shaylin flicked the cat's tail. The cat-eared girl looked at the puddle of ashes seriously, feeling an indescribable feeling. She thought that if they were not cruel, the Yanlong tribe would be like this now. So, in fact, there is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing you can do about it if you are born in this era. Anyway, this era is full of wars. Whoever is strong can survive in this primitive era. There is nothing we can do about this. We can only see if we can find a way to transport them back in the future. Yet, Ju blinked his cold gray eyes and continued, otherwise, we can only let them be buried with those soldiers. Wolf Ear Girl is fine with these, she just feels a bit pity. After all, these are good labor forces. Oh oh, oh. The two-tailed grey wolf shouted loudly, its grey eyes filled with murder. When the sneak attack plan started last night, the two-tailed grey wolves had been waiting around the Muchan tribe. This was also ordered by the Wolf Ear Lady, in order to snipe some soldiers who were lucky enough to escape. The two-tailed grey wolf can still tell which ones are warriors and which ones are ordinary people. The peak eagle also called out, and the loud eagle call seemed particularly clear to Li Ming. It also received Yanhua's order and used its sharp eyes to look around the entire tribe from high in the sky. The purpose is also to see if anyone from the Muchan tribe has escaped, and to see the situation of the entire tribe. However, no one was able to escape last night. After all, the power of the explosive pack was too strong on our side. The explosive packs they brought out this time are very powerful, more than twice as powerful as the explosive packs they just developed. It is an improved version specially developed by the blonde girl, and now the tribe is using it in large quantities. Production. Who says it's not to mention that we all bought so many explosives and went down there. Bias I kept looking at the ruins. Last night she shot several warriors with a recurve bow, because those warriors rushed out of the sea of fire. Maybe it was because people were about to die, those warriors inspired after gaining the power of the totem, she rushed towards them. Bias I was arranged in the tree to observe all this. When the soldiers rushed out of the sea of fire, she realized something was wrong. She quickly picked up the recurve bow and aimed at them. These crazy warriors were eliminated in a matter of seconds. Once some of these fires are out, let's get something to eat and hit the road. Maimang calmed down his breathing. He kept touching his big belly and spent a lot of energy cleaning things. Because when the explosive package exploded, it ignited the wooden houses, as well as some dry branches around it, etc. Those sparks, the child touched these rotten branches and instantly ignited them. The flames spread very quickly, and a large area burned up in a short time. When they received this mission, they heard Subai told them not to cause forest fires. When using explosive packs, they must pay attention to the surrounding fire conditions. Just burn down the tribe and do not involve the forest. Originally, the tribe was going to be destroyed, and the forest was not. Similarly, forests can breed a lot of life. What's more, if a forest fire really breaks out in such a large forest, it will burn for a long time. If the forest fire is not stopped in time, the fire will continue. It spreads in all directions along the middle of the fire. Countless lives in the forest will die in the fire, and innocent tribes around will also suffer. Similar things have happened on the earth, that is, the largest rainforest in the world is on fire. The burning time lasted for a long, long time. All everyone could do was to pray that the fire would be extinguished by itself. Because it had reached the point where humans could not extinguish it, they could only pray for blessings. Subai he didn't want to cause a forest fire in this era. He still relied on this big forest. It was also very helpful to his farming plan, so he told them about this before they went on the mission. Anyway, the fire is still very strong now. Do you want to catch some prey and bring it back for barbecue? Yanhua asked. She felt that she hadn't moved her muscles yet. A few explosive packs destroyed the tribe last night. Originally, the horn girl wanted to show off her skills, but unexpectedly she could only watch from the side. I also think we should save the compressed military rations. Anyway, there are still many days to come, and I don't know if we will have time in the future. Shalan nodded. Well, it's just a matter of waiting for the fire to go out anyway, so we can go hunting. Yeju agreed. To be honest, Lang Er Niang was also a little hungry, and she began to miss eating tribal delicacies. When they traveled 2 days ago, they had no time to hunt, so all they ate was compressed army rations. Of course, the taste of compressed military rations is definitely no better than eating fresh ones. However, the taste is better than the food they ate before, at least the seasonings are sufficient. By the way, where is our next target? Air asked curiously. Butterfly Girl wanted to quickly solve this mission and go back to the tribe to have a good meal. The next target is only 1 day away from us, so we need to take a good rest tonight, Yeju ordered. As soon as he said this, everyone became serious, not at all proud of the victory just now. Please update for support and customization.